Okay.
Okay, it shows live on Facebook, and let me do a quick check on my site. Okay. It takes time because of the connection. All right, we are live right now, Jasmine. Wonderful.
Hi.
Hello, parents. This is Coach John here from Learning Out of the Box, and I hope you are enjoying your 1 week of school break. Today, I have a special guest, a special friend of mine, and she is the founder and CEO of Skinlycious, and she has a degree in biomedical science as well as diploma in organic skincare formulation. Hello, Jasmine.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Hi, parents. How are you all?
Yes, today Jasmine will be here to share with us something that also has affected me when I was younger, and it nearly crushed my confidence. It's about with something related to acne outbreak on our face. Yeah. So today she's going to share with you a topic on tweens and teens skincare with Jasmine Kang. All right, Jasmine, all over to you.
Okay. Sorry, can you just give me a while so that I can share this on my Skinlycious page as well?
Sure. Yeah, probably along the way, you can also later just share with us how this started off and some backstory.
Okay. Don't really know how to do it. Okay, never mind. Come, let me start.
Yeah.
Share some screen.
And the link is already in your chat. Yeah, in Zoom. Okay, parents, while Jasmine is trying to share her screen because she has prepared an info pack PowerPoint slide for you, feel free to ask any question. And I think this is also, this may probably be affecting some of the children if they are in P6 or even P5. Yeah, so if you have some questions that you want to ask her, go ahead and post in the Facebook comments in the Facebook Live. And then we'll take on the questions along the way, and I will be sharing with Jasmine your question, and then she will answer as we go along.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, John, for the introduction. So let me introduce myself. Pardon the horrible pictures. That was me in the past. So I'm the founder and CEO of Skinlycious. So John has introduced my background. So I actually struggled with acne for 14 long years. You can see like I actually had big red cystic acne during my teenage years. And then all the way through to university, and then after that working. And I realized that through my 14 years of struggle, right, diet affects, lifestyle affects acne, like even eating durian causes cystic acne for me. Eating spicy food, I get breakouts during my chin. And I'm very, very prone to pimples and whiteheads. So, and another interesting thing is this happened last year. My whole face was just filled with bumps after I tried a new ingredient while I was formulating. So this ingredient is salicylic acid, which is actually well known as an anti-acne ingredient. But I use it in a different form. In the textbook, it always shows, in the clinical papers, it actually shows that it helps in acne reduction. But when I tried it just one try, and then I just broke up, my whole face just broke up. So for Skinlycious, all the products I go through, I try it during formulation. So I make sure that this kind of breakouts don't happen to my customers. And then we also want to be an affordable skincare solution for people with acne prone and oily skin. Even oily skin, you can try our brand because it actually controls the oil very well. We call it experience plus science-based skincare. So whatever ingredients that I put in, I base it on science. I do read through the clinical papers and they have evidence behind why I choose all these ingredients. And the experience comes whereby I actually try all the ingredients, and it's not just me because I involve fellow acne battlers to try before we launch any products. So like my top customers get to try any new products, or even when I do a bit of improving formulation, I ask them to try before I launch. So that's why Skinlycious is the brand for acne battlers by acne battlers. and it's made in a Singapore CGMP factory. So it's very important that it's made in a proper certified GMP factory so that, you know, it's not homemade and then there's no bacteria. It's in a clean environment, and then it's less likely to be, what do you call it? Contaminated by bacteria and fungus. So that's all for Skinlycious introduction and myself. So
Yeah, just
let's
one quick
understand.
question. Yeah, Jasmine. One quick question. So when you talk about the ingredients in the skincare products,
Yeah.
help us to understand what are some of the common ingredients.
I will go through that later.
Sure, sure.
So basically the flow is that I will let you understand what's the difference between baby skin and teenage skin. How come suddenly when we were a baby, our skin is so smooth, poreless? And then what happened? How come when we reach preteen or teenage and then we suddenly have breakouts? So this is what happened. Androgens, which are the male hormones, they surge. So during puberty, preteen times, our androgen hormones actually surge. Whether it's female or male, all of us have androgens, the male hormones. So these male hormones will actually increase during our puberty period. And I get a lot of questions whether, you know, male and female, boys and girls, do they need to differentiate the skin? No, they don't. You don't have to differentiate skincare between two genders because the skin structure is mostly the same, just that male skin is generally about 20% thicker, oilier, and it ages differently. But there's really no need to differentiate skincare. It's just a marketing gimmick. So usually the difference between male and female skincare is just the fragrance, the colors, the packaging. And then from baby to teenage age, the outermost layer of the skin sheds less frequently. So it becomes tougher. Like, you know, during baby stage, when we fall, we get a bump, we get an all tear very easily. But as we grow older, our outermost layer of skin actually sheds less frequently. So it becomes tougher. You don't get bumps so easily. And then we also produces more sebum and sweat. Sebum is actually oil. So because of the surge in androgens, then we actually have more sebum and sweat. So what happens is when you have more sebum and sweat, it actually clogs pores when there's excess of it. And the clogged pores actually form comedons, which are like when you touch your skin, it's not smooth, there are bumps. And then if they oxidize, they become blackheads. Later, I'll show you a picture of it. So almost 8 in 10 teens will be affected by acne at some point. So it's actually quite common, but it doesn't last for the lucky ones. Actually, most of them, it doesn't last them like the whole acne, the whole teenage span. Yeah, basically it's more like certain parts, certain point, if they control well, then acne would stop. Yeah, but it's good. It's actually important to like capture and end it, like stop acne at this area, at the whitehead, blackhead area. Don't let it grow to papules and pustules, the pimple stage. So this is a healthy pore. So this sebaceous gland is actually where it actually produces the oil and the sebum.
Well, just a quick one, Jasmine.
Yeah.
Are we still on slide 1?
Slide
Because
1? No.
yeah, because in the Zoom is showing in just page 1.
Oh.
Yeah, so maybe you need to click
I think
on.
I need to go to the other. So it's not showing.
Yeah, probably you need to click on enable editing, so it allows you to scroll down. Yeah.
Okay, let me see.
Okay, as Jasmine is trying to figure out how to show you the proper slide.
Okay.
Parents, if you have primary 5 and 6 kids and you want to ask more questions to better support your kid, especially when it comes to acne outbreak and how to prevent it, as in, I think there's nothing to prevent it, but how do we better cope with it? Feel free to ask Jasmine, because I think to me, when I first met her, she's like a chemist, an expert in all these chemicals and the do's and the don'ts, and she is very knowledgeable in terms of helping human being to reduce the acne outbreak, and also speaking from her own personal experience. Yeah, so do feel free to share, to ask any question if you have.
Okay, John, can you see my slide?
Yes, awesome. Yes, now I can see page 2. Just now it was already on page 1. Yeah.
Oh dear. Okay, so I've been
It's okay.
rattling
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
So so I don't know whether you all saw this. Basically, like this was me when during puberty. The acne was really bad. It was all red around my chin area, and then it was like pimples among pimples is uncountable. And then this was like the huge acne that I developed after eating durian, the spicy food, and then I just had outbreaks. So this was the one where I actually tried a new ingredient, and then it just broke me out like the whole face. Yeah, it was just filled with bumps. Okay, so this one I was just going through, but I think the slide didn't show. So basically, it's about the androgens. All these are actually on my webpage. So if you want to read more, you can actually go to my webpage and read under Tweens and Teen Skincare. So this is the one that I wanted to show you. Yes. So these are the healthy pore. So this is the hair follicle, and then this is the sebaceous gland, which is the one that produces sebum and oil for our skin. So what happens is like when there's excess oil and sweat, it gets clogged, and then the next phase is called whitehead. So you get little bumps on your skin when you touch it. It's not smooth. And then if it gets oxidized, that means it with exposure to the air, then it turns black, so it becomes a blackhead, which is typical usually on our nose. And then we have the papule, which is like the small little pimple, the white pimple, where you see the little white head. That is when the white blood cells are actually attacking the infection. So you see the white pus. And then pustule is like when it grows bigger. Yeah. So these are the actual photos of it. Like this one. Can you actually see my mouse, John?
Yes, I can see the mouse.
You can, right? So I'm circling it, you can see, right? Yeah, okay. So this one is something like between a papule and a pustule. And then this whole thing is actually more like a cyst. Like it's embedded already. A cyst means like this one is also a cyst, like it's huge, and then it's very deep inset. And usually when it develops to this stage, it will lead to scarring. And scarring, physical scarring, like, you know, those pock marks, and then it's very hard to treat. There's like no products that can actually help in physical scarring when the marks. I often get questions like, after I have acne, then when it starts to heal, I get like red, brown marks, and they call it scar. But those are actually not scars. Those are hyperpigmentation, which can lighten. So that one is not permanent. It's very easy to get rid of. But once it forms like dented scars, they call it ice pick scar, box scars. Those scars are really hard to treat. You need to go to an aesthetic doctor and do multiple layers, multiple sessions of laser. Then only then you can lighten it, but you cannot guarantee that it will possibly go away like smooth skin. So, but acne is not just about physical scarring, because it can lead to emotional scarring as well. Personally, for 14 years, like it was hard. Yeah, like even when stepping out to work, when you talk to your clients, people would not be looking at your eyes. People would be looking at like your acne. It's really uncomfortable. Yeah. So for kids, the emotional part is like they really will have, most of them, I won't say all, but a lot of them would have like low self-esteem. I hope they don't get bullied in school, like people laughing at them. Yeah, but it's not just like, yeah, the emotional part is the one that hurts most actually.
Yes, let me just jump in quickly to share my personal experience when I taught the primary sixers last year. Yeah, so we have this very confident girl who one day have this acne outbreak, and somehow you can see that she's behaving differently, as in she doesn't dare to look us in the eyes, and she always have her head lowered down, as in her face lowered down. And then, though in the past she was very attentive, but because of the pimples outbreak, so she was busy trying to scratch and peel off the dry skin. Yeah, so I think it doesn't just affect the child's confidence as well as, but also how they study as well.
Yeah, thank you, John, for adding in. Yeah, that's true. Like when I had acne, I always look at the floor when I'm walking, and I hate looking into the mirror. Like I refuse to look at mirrors. Yeah. So, okay, now let's talk about the ingredients. First of all, what ingredients to avoid? So I'm basing it on science. The strongest evidence is actually essential oils. Surprise, surprise, right? Yeah, but in clinical trials, it actually showed that lavender and tea tree oils actually may cause breast growth in boys. And this was actually like a observational study where they actually found that, how come these pre-puberty boys develop enlarged breast tissue? And then they found that, the cause is because these boys actually use products, skincare products with lavender and tea tree oil. So I'm actually I haven't got my diploma cert yet, but I actually finished the course. And during our diploma in organic skincare formulation, we learned a lot about essential oils. And never use essential oils neat on your skin, because there's actually a lot of chemicals which are allergens inside essential oils. And for us, when we do formulations, we need to dig out the percentage of each allergen in each essential oil, calculate and make sure it doesn't cross the dermal limit that is set by the European Union for each skincare product that we do if we add essential oil. But Skinlycious, for me, I don't use essential oil at all in my brand. We are moving towards that. Yeah, so tea tree oil, which is mainly used in a lot of acne products. Actually, in my second version of my cleanser, I added a bit of tea tree oil in there. That was before this study came out, or before I knew of this study. And then, so my first version was without tea tree oil. And then my second version, I added a little bit of tea tree oil, which is 0.01%. That's like less than a drop kind, 0.01%. And then what happened was my old customers who had no problem with my first generation of cleanser, actually, some of them, like a good 5%, actually broke out. Yeah. So because of that, I removed tea tree oil and I decided that I will go essential oil free. But I mean, essential oil has a lot of benefits as well. But just that, if you have sensitive skin, and then for pre-puberty boys, you would actually need to take note about lavender and tea tree oils. This study is specifically on skincare products. But sometimes I get questions like, what if, like, when you infuse essential oils and then they breathe it in? Then I really don't know. But it's up to your discretion. And I think the percentage of breathing in will actually be even higher compared to using it in skincare if you use it every day for these two, especially lavender and tea tree oil. This is what the study showed. Yeah. Other ingredients to avoid: parabens. Actually, this is a preservative. Actually, it has been shown to be safe, like in a lot of skincare products. It's also actually naturally found in many fruits and vegetables like blueberries and carrots. So like the fruits and vegetables actually produce these parabens themselves so that to preserve it themselves from bacteria and fungus. But it has been very controversial. So our brands don't use it, and we don't use it because there's actually, why I say to avoid, because there are actually alternative preservatives that you can use. So this is a bit controversial. So generally parabens also, like, why it's controversial is because they said that it's an endocrine chemical disruptor. So basically it disrupts like the hormonal part. So like for female, it might lead to breast cancer. And then, but then the study that they based on was like using it in like super high concentration, which we don't use in skincare. So again, concentration matters. Yeah, but if you can avoid, you avoid, because there are other preservatives that we can use for skincare. So formaldehyde releasing agents, again, formaldehyde releasing agents is banned in Japan and Sweden. But again, in nature world, like apples actually produce a small amount of formaldehyde by themselves to preserve themselves as well. So, but it's just again the percentage used. But this one is more controversial than parabens, and these are the different variations. Like if you see the ingredient list in the skincare, like diazolineurea and this DMDM, hydrotoin, they are basically formaldehyde releasing agents. So basically they release a bit of formaldehyde over time to preserve the skincare ingredients. So, but then you again say that, oh, can I go preservative free? But never do that, because we did experiments, and within 1 week, if you don't put preservative, the whole skincare goes bad. Like mold will start growing, bacteria with your naked eye you can't see, and imagine you put that on your face, you're going to get infection. Yeah. So it's very important, like that, you know, skincare products are properly preserved. So like for Skinlycious, we actually send our products to a lab to test to make sure that we pass the preservative testing. And then phthalates, which are often found in synthetic fragrances. So they are labeled as fragrance or perfume. And again, this one is also an endocrine disruptor. So basically it disrupts your hormones. So these two are actually, parabens and formaldehyde releasing agents are actually preservatives used in skincare. Phthalates are usually fragrance. So if you go for a fragrance-free brand, then you won't have phthalates in there. And phthalates you won't see in the ingredient list. It will, yeah, so it's hard to detect anyway. But if you go just fragrance-free, then you don't have to worry about phthalates. Sulfates, sodium lauryl sulfate and sodium lauryl sulfate. Sodium lauryl sulfate with the ETH is actually the milder cousin of sodium lauryl sulfate. Lauryl, LAURYL, is actually more harsh than lauryl sulfate. They are not harmful to the skin. Like there's no study to show that, you know, they might disrupt hormones and stuff like that, but it's just that they are cleansing agents, they are surfactants. So if we use cleansers, right, we all need cleansing agents in the cleanser to remove the dirt and grime. And the first gen, a lot of people use sulfate. My first gen was also using sulfate. And it's generally more dry, but then again, it also depends on the whole formulation of the cleanser. Like you can put moisturizing ingredients in there to mitigate it. But most people do just avoid sulfates. So there's actually naturally derived surfactants, cleansing agents that we use. Later I'll share with you what. So for teens and tweens, the most important step is cleansing. I think that's like quite obvious, right? Yeah. So like before, like my boy is like 6 years old now. He doesn't really wash with anything. He just water, that's it. But when the androgen surge, because there's so much sebum and then sweat, you really need a proper cleanser with cleansing agent to wash off all the grime and sweat, because water is not enough anymore. So that's why when they transit to this age and they don't use cleanser, it starts to clog up, and then you get pimples. And then if they don't control, it will develop into cystic acne, and then if it gets inflamed. So right at the beginning, once they turn to a pre-tween stage, you notice that they have oily skin, start them off with a cleanser. Don't wait anymore.
When you talk about cleanser, Okay, I think you need to lower down the volume. I can hear myself.
Okay.
Can hear my echo. Yes, when you talk about cleanser, in my own understanding, are you referring to those facial cleanser we can get off the shelf?
Yes, generally cleansers. Yeah, facial
Ah,
cleansers. I'm talking about facial cleansers. Yeah. So what you should look out for in a cleanser should be, it should be gentle. So there should be no tight feeling after cleansing. So it's not like after you wash. I mean, in the past, people like after you wash, then you should feel very squeaky, tight. That is too dry. You shouldn't use that kind of cleanser. If you feel that, then you should change it because it's too dry. Avoid ingredients that was mentioned earlier. pH not over 7 so that the acid mantle is not disrupted. So what is the acid mantle? Basically, it's the protective layer on our skin. What it does is our acid mantle is actually around pH 4.5 to 5.5. In case you don't know what is pH, a little bit of chemistry reminder. So pH is basically acidic or basic, neutral. So 7, 8 is about neutral. Acidic is about 1 being the most acidic, and then 14 being the most basic, which is alkaline. And example of neutral, pH 7 is water. Our skin lies between here. Our acid mantle is about 4.5 to 5.5. So at this acidic pH, it actually helps, it's a protective layer, so it actually helps prevent bacteria and fungus from infecting us. So studies have also found that our pH of the skin actually shifts to a higher pH when one is having acne or eczema. So higher pH meaning it goes to alkaline once we have skin issues. So it's very important that we protect our acid mantle, we don't disrupt it too much. But generally wash off is not, I find my personal opinion, pH of skincare of leave on is actually more crucial than, this one is a typo, should be, it's more crucial. pH of skincare for leave-on is more crucial than wash-off products. So wash-off products are like cleansers. So cleansers, because you actually dilute it with water, and then the pH doesn't matter already because you wash it off. And then your acid mantle will actually adjust back to acidic. But for leave-on products, it's you leave it on, you don't wash it off. So for us, when we do formulations, we always test pH and make sure that, it's never over 7. Yeah, so we actually have to adjust it to make sure that it's never over 7 because certain active ingredients, they cannot work in acid environment. So it's quite a lot of science behind it, yeah. And avoid soap because their pH are usually higher than 7, like soap baths. Yeah. And then a little bit of promotion here. So my calming cleanser, basically the main key ingredient is calamine. Calamine is a pink powder. It's made out of zinc oxide and iron oxide, and it actually helps to soothe and calm the skin, especially when you have eczema or when you have acne. It helps. Like even now, I don't have acne now. I still use it every day. Yeah, it's that mild. Yeah, that you can use it every day even when you don't have acne. It helps control oil very well. And what I want to emphasize is that, you remember the surfactant that I told you, sulfates? Prior to changing to sulfates or before using sulfates, I actually tried a lot of cleansing agents. So my skin is quite special in a way it oils up. Like it will become very oily if the ingredient doesn't suit me. A lot of outside cleansers, especially makeup removers, they just make my skin super oily. And I took a very long to find this blend of cleansing agent that actually doesn't make my skin oily. Yeah. So a lot of people who actually use my brand find that, my skin is no longer oily. Maybe they have the same type of skin as me, like, very oily skin. And then because the formulators or the doctors who actually formulate the products don't have their type of skin to test, so they are not able to differentiate, whether or not whether the skin oils up or not. Yeah. So these are testimonials, like Julie, his son, 12-year-old son, actually just have like little bumps of whiteheads on the forehead, which is very common for tweens. Used the cleanser and then he cleared up. So essentially, when it's just bumpy whiteheads, it's quite easy to clear, but you have to capture it before it gets worse, before a bacterial infection sets in. This one is, Eileen is actually like 20 plus, early 20s. She used the whole set, but she actually said that, this is, the calming cleanser actually helped reduce her redness. So what's the next essential step? For tween or teen without acne, the second essential step I would recommend is a hydrator, which is an oil-free hydrating serum. Moisturizer might be a bit too rich, especially for our tropical climate. Basically, find an oil-free serum which actually adds water into your skin, but not oil, because you already have enough oil. So what happened is our skin, in Chinese we call it 内油外干. It means inside is oily, outside is dry. That is when our skin cannot differentiate whether they should produce more oil or not. So when they have this condition where the inside is oily, outside is dry, the skin still feel that it's dry. So it will actually produce more oil. So it's counterintuitive. But if you add water into your skin, it will feel that, okay, I'm hydrated, I don't need to produce that much oil. So it will start regulating and then it will produce less oil. So it kind of like balance the skin. Yeah, that's the amazing part of our human body. It will adjust accordingly, yeah. And we do offer an oil-free hydrating serum. It's made out of sodium hyaluronate, and then it actually holds water very well. Just to let you know, this serum, right, I used to buy from my GP doctor, and it cost me $100 over just for the same 30 ml, and I'm selling it at $40. Yeah. So in winter or harsher climates, you can add on or switch to a moisturizer, because when in harsher climates, you need to add a little bit of oil to prevent the water from evaporating. And then the third step, if your tween and teen is hardworking enough, they can add on a sunscreen. Yeah. Then what about those with acne? So I'm going through like second step, because I know like a lot of mommies tell me, oh, my son is so lazy, I can't even get him to cleanse with a cleanser. So it really depends on how willing your kid is going to use the product. So if he's only going to use one product, then use the cleanser, because that's the most essential one. If he's willing to use two products, I mean, if he's without acne, his skin is not super oily, then a cleanser is good enough. Yeah, but if very oily, and then even after cleansing, it oils up within 2 hours, it's better you add a hydrating serum, so that it balances, because if it's too much oil, it starts to get clogged, and then acne will start forming. So you balance your skin, yeah. And then with acne, first step is definitely cleanser. Second step, let's say he's very lazy, you can only use 2 products. Then the second step will be spot treatment, because you really need to arrest the acne at that point. For Skinlycious, we have 2 types of spot treatment. One is the blemish corrector, which is made up of vitamins. So it's very mild, but clinically it has evidence to show that it helps in acne. doesn't dry up the skin. It doesn't cause peeling like most typical acne products. So for teens and tweens, we always recommend that you start with the blemish corrector first. And then Glow Exfoliant is the acid-based spot treatment, and it might sting a little because the pH is quite low, and then it might cause a little bit of peeling for the initial phase. And then this one, you can, blemish corrector, you can use your fingers to apply. Glow Exfoliant, you actually need a cotton pad, so it's a bit more leche compared to blemish corrector. So for teens, usually you ask them to use a cotton pad and dab, they were like, I don't want. So that's why we say, okay, use blemish corrector. But if it's like cystic acne, Glow Exfoliant actually works better because it penetrates deeper. Then
the blemish method is something like roll-on type?
no, I don't do roll-ons because I believe that you are just like imbibing bacteria. So my products are very clean. So basically you squeeze out and then you apply. Yeah.
With the fingers.
Yes. Squeeze out on your finger and then you apply.
Yeah, because when you're going through, it brought me back down my memory lane. And as a guy, I think it's quite troublesome at that point in time to do so many stages. But
yeah,
I thought what helps is it got better, so it motivated me to continue to do all these steps.
Yeah, yeah, that's what Julie said as well. Like, his twin actually started off with, like, she bought other brands like 3-Step Skincare, but because like his son didn't see any improvements and then he stopped using. But with the cleanser, he saw improvement and then he started using like the 3 steps. And then he's actually, you see, that's why he said, well, he's more disciplined with his beauty regime. And she doesn't have to nag him to, you know, put on your products, wash your face. Now he can see the difference, he will be more disciplined. Yeah. So, and then after that, the step 3 would be hydrating serum, which is this one, an oil-free serum. Again, the root cause is excess oil. So that's why it's good that, you know, you actually control the oil. So it's better if your child can use 3 steps if they have acne. So step 1, cleanse, of course, to get rid of the excess oil. Second is to spot treat, so that, you know, you kill the bacteria, you don't let it spread. And then the third step is actually to regulate the sebum so that you will reduce the clog and then you will reduce the acne. Because spot treat is really just spot treat. You don't like go to the root cause. You only just kill the bacteria and stop it there and then. But the hydrating serum is the one that actually helps to regulate your skin to produce less oil. And then step 4, sunscreen. That is a super plus like if they are very hardworking. Yeah. And then sometimes I get questions like girls who are very young, they're like, do I need anti-aging products? Like especially for teenage 18, 19 years old, you don't need anti-aging products now. Generally, studies have shown that at age 25 years old, your collagen start decreasing. So I think at age 25, you can start anti-aging products, but not earlier than that. There's no need lah, unless you have wrinkles. Yeah. So
quick question: how does the sunscreen help in this case?
The sunscreen, it generally helps, like, you know, the pigmentation. That means the one that I was saying, like when your acne heal, you form the red-brown marks. Those are hyperpigmentations. If you have sun exposure, it actually darkens it. So with sunscreen, like for us, I do a whitening sunscreen. So it actually helps in lightening the marks as well. And generally, if you have no acne as an adult, right, your most crucial steps are cleanse, moisturize or hydrate, depending on the climate and your skin type, and sunscreen. These 3 are like the most essential step, because sunscreen, the sun UV rays actually damages your skin. It makes you age prematurely. And it actually stimulates your skin to produce pigmentations. Yeah. So that's why if you can start sunscreen early in your teens or tweens, maybe too early. I mean, Yeah, but even like kids, right? When we go out in the sun, we do apply sunscreen for our kids as well. Yeah. Then yeah, this is Jinti, one of my customers. So what happened was like for Skinlycious, at that time I only had one spot treatment, which is this glow exfoliant, which is the acid space. It helped clear my acne. And when he came along, he told me that, oh, this didn't really suit me, but he actually find the other products like the serum and the cleanser suiting him. And then at that time, I was doing formulation, and blemish corrector was actually kind of like co-developed with him. He was the guinea pig who helped me test a lot of rounds before we came to this final version. And you can see that, you see, he had very bad red cystic acne, and it actually cleared up with blemish corrector. Yeah. So we actually offer two very different types of active ingredients for spot treatments. So if you don't suit one, you can try the other one. And this comes from customer feedback. And that's why our brand is actually for acne battlers by acne battlers. So this is the one that we recommend for kids with acne. We call it the Clear Skin Hydrate Kit. It's not just kids lah. If you are in your 20s, 30s, 40s, we do have customers in 40s as well. They can use this as well. We have the mini kit, which comes with a 30 days money back guarantee. So basically, it's the mini sizes. It lasts about 7 to 10 days. You can test it out and see whether it's working or not. Usually, within 7 to 10 days, you will be able to know. You will be able to see that your kids will be able to see that it's less oily. Their skin will be less oily, and the pimples getting smaller. And then this is the big one, the Hydrate kit, so the big size. And I'm giving a 10% off all products until midnight tonight. You can use the coupon code LOB10. We have free shipping above $100. I generally don't give discounts for my big size products because I actually price my products very affordably. Very affordably. Yeah, because I don't come from a very rich background. So during my uni days, I had to study while working. I've done like waitressing, door-to-door surveys and stuff like that. And a lot of money that I earn, I actually put into acne treatments. Like I bought a lot of expensive brands. I actually had medications. The medications were not cheap. And then I also signed up like beauty packages, like $1,000 over dollars. And then, beauty packages in their in-house beauty brands, one bottle is $100 over dollars. So all this actually ate up my my hard-earned savings. And I feel that it's very depressing to have acne, and I would like to be in the position to give back. That's why I really price my products very affordably. And you can see like 3 products for less than $100. Yeah. And this serum, in the past, I was buying at $100 over dollars from my skin doctor previously. Yeah.
Yeah, this reminded me when was my younger days and went for the bi-weekly doctor checkup, and every visit was at least $100 just to see him for like 5 minutes and then to get his stuff.
I mean, when I was having acne that time, this brings me back to the acid menthol thing. When I was having acne, I visited this famous clinic in Tampines where I had to queue very long. And then they did chemical peels. So very strong doses. And then it actually led to my skin being, I would say, kind of like destroyed, because it was so sensitive that I would flush in the skin, in the sun. And basically, my skin was super sensitive for quite a few years. Yeah. And I have one customer who's so poor thing because the GP actually prescribed PB scrub. PB scrub, if you look up, right, is actually like a disinfecting hand scrub. Prescribed that for her to wash her face. her whole face became so sensitive that she can't even use my cleanser. And now I'm actually like separately making a special concoction for her every time, just for her, because there are a lot of ingredients that she cannot use because her skin is super sensitive. Basically, the acid mantle, the skin barrier that I was talking about, is disrupted, and once it's disrupted or destroyed, it takes a long time for the skin to heal. Yeah.
Yeah, so let me to parents who are keen to get this full disclaimer. If you're not sure, please check with your doctor.
Yes.
You can contact Jasmine just to find out more about her products to decide if this is a good fit for your child.
Yeah, I must highlight that I'm not a doctor, but I've seen many doctors for my treatment. So there are still medications that work, like really, like if you have big cystic acne, the fastest way is actually to get Accutane, but it's actually harmful to the liver. The doctor will probably make you sign something that you cannot get pregnant, and then you have to do a liver function test before you take it. That one really controls the oil well, but it actually dries up your skin. But that one you also cannot take long term. There are antibiotics that doctor might prescribe for you as well. But you can always, but the thing is that's internal, but you would also need external, something to cleanse your face and everything. So I do have questions asking, oh, can I complement your products with what my doctor's prescription? And I say, yeah, definitely. You will probably find even faster results, because if you have antibiotics, it will kill off the bacteria even faster. Then you will probably get clear skin faster. Yeah. But then again, a lot of parents also say, oh, but I don't want to start my kids so early on antibiotics, especially Accutane, because it's bad for the liver. So it's really up to you. And I would say it's important to find the right doctor. Yeah. Protect your skin barrier. Do not over exfoliate. Over exfoliate is like using acids like salicylic acid, BHA, AHA. If used at very strong dose every day, it will probably be over exfoliation. Do not dry out your skin. It's always about balance. If you dry out your skin feels dry, it will actually produce more oil. So don't dry out your skin. A lot of brands outside actually sell a whole range of product, and every product contains anti-acne ingredients. I wouldn't suggest that because it's very drying. So if you notice, like my products, the cleanser do not have anti-acne ingredient. It's just calamine for calming. My hydrating serum doesn't have anti-acne ingredients because there's no need for anti-acne ingredients when you want to hydrate. So the only anti-acne ingredient that has is basically the spot treatment, which is this one, the blemish corrector and glow exfoliant. Glow exfoliant is actually salicylic acid and mandelic acid, which is a AHA and a BHA. So it helps to exfoliate the outer layer of skin for mandelic acid, and then for salicylic acid, it's actually lipid soluble. That means it can penetrate deeper, and then it actually dissolves the clot from within. So that's why if you go and look at the reviews of this product, right, you see that people say that it works very fast. Okay, and then just what about acne fighting ingredients? What are the common ones? So in the US FDA, they have OTC acne fighting ingredients. These are like ingredients that have a lot of clinical data to show that it works against acne. So salicylic acid is one of them, which I'm using in my glow exfoliant. Benzoyl peroxide. The function of benzoyl peroxide is actually to kill bacteria, which I find, but it's very drying. To me, I was allergic to benzoyl peroxide, so I don't use it. Sulfur, resorcinol plus sulfur combination. And this three, you generally don't see it as much because resorcinol is actually banned in EU, like in Europe. you can't use it. So yeah, salicylic acid, like if you like this photo, I had major breakout over my whole face with one application of using an encapsulated salicylic acid. So even if it's salicylic acid in different form, it actually matters. Yeah.
Just now when you mentioned that you are allergic to one of the like benzoyl peroxide.
Yeah, benzoyl peroxide.
So as a layman,
it's a very common.
as a layman, how do we know that we are allergic to that particular chemical while we are using, say, a product off the shelf?
I'm sorry, you just have to try. Yeah.
Hydrate.
Yeah. And see whether you, for me, benzoyl peroxide gave me very dry patches. Very dry patches, and then it's just very red and peeling. So I couldn't use it. Yeah. And they have different strengths to it. But I find salicylic acid working better for me. But there are quite a few people who couldn't use salicylic acid as well. That's why like Jinxi couldn't use salicylic acid based products. So that's why we came up with the vitamin base, which is actually stabilized vitamin C and vitamin B3. And all this clinically in studies, they show that at a certain percentage, it helps in acne reduction. So that is how damage corrector was actually birthed. So yeah.
And young kids, they have those skin prick tests for allergies. What about skin for adults? Do we have like in the commercial sector any tests to show what kind of acid we are or chemicals we are allergic to?
Actually, it's very difficult because in like I told you, like even salicylic acid in different forms, I break out. So you won't know like what form is being used in each skincare product. So you really just have to test it. You can do a patch test, like just on here, like just a little bit, and see whether you have or not. Anything works out. That's why we offer the mini kit version at only $27, so that you can actually try it out. And then if it doesn't work for you, I don't even want to earn your money. I give you back your money. Yeah.
Yeah, so what I learned from here is parents, if you have any new products for your kid, be it you get from Jasmine or off the shelf, do not let them try straight on the face and in big, large area. Always do a patch test first, like what Jasmine has suggested.
Yeah, but the hand skin and the facial skin is a little bit different. So you really just you can't do it on your hand. I really have to like do it on this area, like yeah.
Below the jaw?
Yeah, just slightly here on the cheek and the just one small area. But yeah, generally the ingredients in Hydrate kit are quite mild, so I don't see it as an issue. And there's no like allergens in there. Like I was telling you, there are known allergens in skincare, like especially essential oils, where we actually have to calculate exactly the percentage, because in Europe the regulations is much stricter than US. So for skincare, those who follow the European Union and who are selling in Europe, is actually I would say better than the US one. Yeah, because EU regulations are much stricter. And like for essential oils or for allergens, we have to make sure that the limit doesn't exceed what is allowed. Yeah. And other factors that affect skin health, lifestyle, like back acne. I have customers who tell me, oh, because my cleanser also can use for back, and then those spot treatment you can also spot on those acne at the back. Then the mommy was telling me, oh, but it's not going away. And then we kind of like came down to, okay, it's because he was, after his basketball, he would just go back and sleep, and then he doesn't shower. So even if you treat it, but it will come back because of his lifestyle. So it's important to maintain a clean lifestyle as well. Make sure that you wash your face, don't sleep with oily face. Diet affects as well. I mean, in clinical studies, it was not very clear cut, but from personal experience, I do know that diet affects. Skincare products, definitely. Yeah, so many ingredients make my skin oil up. So many ingredients make me outbreak. Makeup also, because there are different ingredients there that can cause skin to clog. Climate and environment, example, water quality. Um, I had a friend, she had beautiful skin, but when we went to Cambodia, because the water is so dirty, the air is so dirty, when she came back, she broke out like crazy. And she had never had breakouts. So like climate and environment is also a factor. If you want to read more, I actually have on my website like one whole article just on lifestyle, like how do you identify, like sometimes for us girls, we have acne around here. Is it because we have hair oil? So the oil actually comes on here. So you have to, I play out different scenarios for different areas of acne. So you can just look through and see whether is that the one that is causing you to have acne. And then, yeah, that's all.
Yes, can you go back to the previous slide because I'm very interested in one of the 5 points, and that's diet.
Sorry?
Can you go back to the previous slide 40?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm very interested in the diet part because you mentioned that from your personal experience, you know that probably some of the food that you are eating is affecting your skin. Would you be able to give some examples so that the parents can take notes as well?
A lot, like on my website. So I would probably need to share my screen on the website.
Yes, please go ahead. You open up, you can stop share first. Then you share again after your website is on.
Okay, I have one whole page that talks about diet and acne, and that is based on, again, a lot of clinical research. Sometimes other people tell you, oh, you have to avoid this, and this, but that's too much. Like, okay, let me see. And
Yes, for parents who are still watching, do take notes that whenever there's any outbreaks, I think a lot of times we'll focus on the skin itself. But like what Jasmine had mentioned, it could also be a combination of different factors like your diet, your lifestyle. Like some teens may not want to wash your face every day. Yeah, so these are things that you may want to take note as well. And even I know that because for myself, I got 3 girls, so eventually they will have their own makeup. Yeah, so it also depends on the type of makeup that you have as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and for makeup, you have to go an extra step to remove makeup. So if they don't cleanse it well, then clogs will come again. So you can see these are the acne trigger foods. So these are not definite acne triggers for everybody. So it really depends on individual. Like high glycemic load food, rice, all this, I eat all this and I'm fine. So it doesn't mean that, it's here means you will get acne from eating that. And then dairy, some yes, some no. I'm fine with all this. So you really have to, I do have on my website, I do have a methodology that you can follow based on the acne trigger food. So suddenly your acne got worse or after a different diet. So you think back what you have eaten the past 2 days. Is there new food or drink added consistently to your diet? Like last time when I was pregnant, my mom was giving me soy milk every day and I broke out. And I didn't link back to the soya milk until I was like, why is my breakout so bad? I was thinking, is it because of the hormones, pregnancy hormones? But I was pregnant before that and I didn't have such breakout. And then I realized maybe it's the soya milk that I have, because it's a new food that has been introduced every day. Then I stop it and then my breakout cleared. So that's why it's not just like a definite thing you really have to understand your body. You have to think through what actually caused it. So like I think through, I identify a trigger food, and then you wash out face, you remove it, and you see whether your skin condition improved. If there's no difference, then you have to go through it again and see whether is it really food related. Yeah, like for me, I identified soy, I stop it, and then my acne cleared. So I found my acne trigger food. So I go easy on soy. Once in a while, I do have my tau hui, but I don't dare to take it too much. Yeah. If you really want to reconfirm it, you can reintroduce your trigger food into your diet, observe a few days, and see whether you break out or not. Yeah, that's like the scientific method of like confirming that you have whether it's your trigger or not. Yeah, for me, I'm quite sure durian and spicy food are my triggers because I reintroduce it and I get breakout. Yeah. Yeah. So this is quite a useful methodology for you to identify your teen or your trigger food, acne trigger food. So I do have a list like the possible trigger foods that in clinical papers that we find common. These are the common ones, the fried food lah. Yeah. And then chocolates, yes or no. Sometimes it might be because of the milk in the chocolate. This is a very small study. Soy, like for me personally, soy actually caused me breakout, but you know, in some clinical paper, soy actually was linked to a lower incidence of acne. It actually helped some people to reduce acne. So it's really up to individual. Yeah.
Great.
And then yeah,
this is a really good page. So when we go to the page, how do we navigate to this exact page?
It's just Skinlycious.com, diet and acne. So I have this clear skincare tab. You look at other factors. So these are all the stuff that I feel are important to understand so that you can clear your acne holistically. And all these are actually come from the experience that I've gathered fighting acne over the past 14 years. Yeah. And also from customers' interaction when they tell me whatnot, yeah, then I will like gather from there, like even for allergic breaks out and purging, it's also good to know what's the difference. Like if you use a new product, is it purging or is it because of allergic breakout? Yeah. And then I also on this page, this is the diet and acne page. I also have some lists of acne fighting food, which you can actually go through it and look through in more details. Yeah.
Yes, I have a question and I'm really curious about it. Let's say if a child in her younger days, probably she's not allergic to soy, yeah, but because of puberty and then there's any breakout, and is there a possibility that the soy, let's say, if she is allergic to soy then, but she doesn't know, okay, what I'm trying to ask is, could she be allergic to something that she's not allergic to in her earlier days?
It might be possible. It's not really, I don't really call it allergic because it's not really an allergy. It's just more like a trigger. I think it's also like in TCM terms, like for me, like durian and spicy food is 捕抓, and it's also trigger the heatiness of the body, and it actually affects your liver. So that's why I get a breakout. So it also depends on your condition of your body. And again, like you say, like pre-puberty and after puberty, and as we grow older, our hormones different. So like soy is actually a phytoestrogen food. Phytoestrogen means if we mix the estrogen in our body, like yeah, so that one, it might or might not like cause problem for people. Like it really depends on individual. Yeah. So like you said, if she has been on soy for a long period, I don't think soy would be the trigger. Yeah, it's usually a new food. So, but for teens, it's generally not so complicated. I know all about all this because I struggled with acne for so long. But for teens, it's generally just because the skin become oilier, there's more sebum. You just need to wash it clean, make sure that they start having a routine, start cleansing properly, make sure that they really cleanse properly and not just done, you know. And then if it's really oily, add in a hydrating serum, hydrate the skin so that the oil is controlled. Then I think most of them will be fine. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yes. And you want to show us the last slide because I think that some parents may be keen because maybe their kids or twins have specific issues and they want some advice. How do they contact you?
Okay. Let me see.
Yep. Okay, for parents who are still with us, feel free to ask any question because we are coming to the end soon.
Yep.
Jasmine?
Okay, so basically you can follow me on IG, you can DM me. It's public, Jess Kang JY. And you can also follow our Skinlycious page, FB and IG, so you actually can get some tips on acne as well. Stay tuned with promotions, and then we have a 10% off on all products only till tonight, 2359. You can use the coupon code LOB10. Like I said, I don't usually give discounts because they are very fairly priced already. So I'm giving this especially for you all to thank you to join us for this, and also to thank John, yeah, for giving me this opportunity to come up here. Yeah, I hope you all have learned something about teenage skin. Yeah, do feel free to ask questions if you have.
Yes, so thanks, Jasmine, for your past 1 hour. Yes, even though we scheduled this to be only 45 minutes, but I think there's so much to share and so many things to learn because our kids are all growing up into teenagers. Okay, so out of so many tips you have shared, what will be one key takeaway for parents to use right now or to remember? Can you stop sharing so they can see
Okay, let me
you?
see.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay. What is the one tip? I think it's really like if they don't have acne, start them early on a routine, a skincare routine, cleanse properly. And then if they have acne, don't just nag at them, because when I was a teen, I hated when my mom nagged at me. So don't nag. Yeah. Just encourage them, because they are already feeling very low self-esteem, and it really affects them a lot, really. So nagging really doesn't help. So what you do is really encourage them to use the products, find the right products, and then use Skinlycious. Yeah. And then be there to support them emotionally. Yeah. Just continue to encourage them and tell them they are still beautiful. It's not just about looks. Encourage them to be more confident. But honestly, it still affects lah. So try to really help them get rid of their acne. Yeah.
One summary. What I learned is sometimes we know that the kids are tired after a long day of school and we just want to sleep. Yeah, so at least please remind them to go and wash their face.
Yeah. This one, no choice. I have to nag. Even if they exercise a lot, right? I go for a game and everything. I think it's good to just, especially boys, really just go for a shower, at least a quick shower to wash off all the dirt. Otherwise, the pores at the back will start clogging, and then you will have back acne. Yeah.
I was just thinking, is it helpful if let's say our children are dead tired and they are already on their bed? Is it helpful if you can get them at least a clean towel that's wet, but will make it as dry as possible and
Yeah.
pass it to them and wipe it? Will that be useful?
I think for kids without acne, it's fine because you just wash away the dirt and grime, like just wipe it down, like have a wipe down. But for kids with acne, it might make it worse because you're spreading the bacteria over the face. Yeah. So like even for me, I don't use towels. Like even now, when I wash my face, when I dry my face, I use a tissue because I'm super afraid of bacteria breeding on the towel, because if the towel is not completely dry and then you wet and dry and then bacteria will start to breed. Like, yeah. So I'm super paranoid about bacteria. So for me, everything is clean. It has to be sterile. Yeah. So like my cotton pads, it's only one use. I don't reuse it. Yeah.
Well, I think it's a great reminder even for myself, because we have towels for everyone, and wet dry will definitely encourage the bacteria to grow.
I mean, you must make sure that it's super dry already before you use it again, because damp, anything that has water will encourage bacteria to grow. Yeah, like you'll find that your towels have black spots, right? So
Yes.
those black spots are actually bacteria or mold.
Oh.
Yeah, so I generally just like to keep it clean. Yeah, yeah, because I'm super paranoid about having acne ever again.
Yeah, this is very useful. So parents who are still watching, you have a homework from Jasmine and me. Go and check your towels and check for black spots. Yeah, check your kids one too. Do not assume that it's always clean. Okay, so Jasmine, thanks so much for your time, because I know that you have covered really a lot, and I've seen a lot of those chemical names, yeah, which I don't think I am good at. So kudos to you for going so deep down to make sure that you can help your clients.
Thank you. Yeah, it's my pleasure. And if you need more information, you can actually go to my website. I have a lot of write-up on it, so you can just read up. Yeah.
Yes. And one last question that I always ask my guests, because you know that we are a community of parents who do math.
Yeah.
So not to worry, I'm not going to give you a math question to solve it. Okay. So right now, as you know, PSLE is coming soon.
Yeah.
Probably 2 months time. Yeah. So our 12 years olds are pretty stressed out. Yeah. So if I invite you to walk down the memory lane and you go back to your younger self and you see the 12-year-old Jasmine. Yeah, so you can see your younger self, and she got so close to you that you can almost touch her, and you realize that she's looking at you into your eyes. What will you tell her?
You mean for PSLE?
Up to you. It doesn't matter.
I think just do your best. Do consistent work. I'm actually a bit paiseh to say lah. I'm actually a straight A student.
Oh, straight
Yeah,
A.
so like I got all A's for my PSLE. I also got all A's for my O levels, and then in uni in NUS, when I did my biomedical science, I actually accelerated my degree. So I finished it in 2.5 years instead of 3 years, save a semester of school fees and also to come out to work. Yeah, that was how driven I was, because I was like, I just want to come out and work, you know. So for me, from young, I was like, it's like the rich dad poor dad mindset. Like I want to get good grades, and then I want to climb up the ladder and earn money. So that was my mindset then. Yeah. Like I was very driven to like study and work hard and ace my exams. Yeah. So to my 12-year-old self, I would say, I don't know, man. I really don't know, but it's like, yeah, just try your best in everything you do. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yes. And I heard straight A. So do you have time for another hour of interview to talk about how you get straight A's? All right, it's just a joke. Yeah, it's just a joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
Already. Yes. So, parents, if you need help for skin or to get straight A's, Go to Jasmine. Yeah, she'll tell you how to get straight A's for your skin.
No. Okay.
Okay, Jasmine, thanks so much for your time.
Yeah.
So I'll see you around and take care. And thanks so much for sharing and preparing the slides because Jasmine actually did the slides especially for this sharing. Yeah,
Yes.
so really appreciate it.
I hope everyone learned something, and I'm really thankful for John for giving me this opportunity to share. And thank you. Good night, all.
Yes, so don't, I was on the Facebook Live, so don't go off first. We'll just do a wrap up, okay?
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye, parents. Thanks and good night. Take care, yeah? Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.